That's how I'm able to replicate virality over and over again, is because of this strategy of reverse engineering results. I started to think like a scientist, and then I just kept reformulating until I found something that really worked. So do what works. The algorithm tells us what works. What do you think is the secret to your posts that went viral? What is the difference? What was special about them?
Welcome to Brands Meet Creators, the channel where we help content creators grow and succeed and connect with brands. On our channel, you will find interviews with top creators and TikTok Shop affiliates, and you will learn tips and tutorials on how to grow and succeed as a content creator. Whether you're a new creator or you've been doing this a long time and you just want to learn more, I'm excited to have you here, so let's dive into today's video.
Alrighty, guys. So my little lesson is going to be pretty quick tonight. It's a pretty simple concept as well. Last week, Melissa asked me like, hey, what do you think is the secret to your posts that went viral? What is the difference? What was special about them? Then I just kind of went into telling her everything that I've created and everything that I've done, I reverse engineered. When I first became a TikTok Shop creator, I was just throwing everything against the wall. And then once something worked, I was like, okay, this worked. Why did it work? How did it work? And then I started to just kind of think like a scientist and keep the bits that I thought were working, change the bits that probably weren't productive. And then I just kept reformulating until I found something that really worked successfully and consistently. And that's how I was able to develop the course that a lot of you guys have taken. That's how I'm able to replicate virality over and over again, is because of this strategy of reverse engineering results. So I want to talk about how you guys can do this too, because it is definitely different for every creator as to what is effective for you on TikTok Shop. So let's just talk about how I want you to think of your TikTok Shop career. And the way that I ended up thinking about what I do is in these phases. So phase one is like the beginner phase. You're just getting started. Phase one, the focus here is to discover what works and produce at quantity. At this point, you are experimenting with everything. At the beginning, test everything to see what sticks. I put chaos here because there really is not a method to the madness at the beginning. There are strategies that I have taught you in the course. There are tips to get you to success faster. And I highly recommend you use all of the tips that I've taught you and that you've seen like from other successful creators. However, in the beginning, nothing is beneath you. I want you to try every framework, test every hook testing, experiment with different verbal hooks. You can experiment with negative hooks, positive hooks, skeptical hooks, really experiment with everything. Change up your visual hooks constantly. You could be making coffee in a video. You could be just moving your camera around while you're talking. You could be stepping into frame, sitting into frame, picking your phone up off the floor. Like experiment with all those different hooks in phase one. Text hooks. Try different things. Try where you spark curiosity by putting some sort of foreshadowing text. Try something shocking. Try something offensive. Try a question. Try all of the things. Same when it comes to framework testing. Whenever you see something go viral, give it a try. If you see a framework where somebody is in the video with another person and they're reacting to things together, or it's a framework where a person is recording that other person's reaction to the product, give it a try. Test everything. Okay. Trend jacking. When you see trends come up when you're in phase one, I will say if you see it more than twice on your For You page, jump on it. Just make the trend, because why not? You never know. You're in this experimental beginner phase. Like I said, it's like when you're cooking spaghetti and you're like just throwing noodles at the wall, trying to see which one is going to stick there and work for you. So we're trying to get something that sticks in phase one. When phase one ends, when something finally does stick, and a video starts to gain traction and sales is a really important part of that, because you can get videos that have lots of views, but they're not being productive in terms of creating income for you. So a sticky video, or my definition of a sticky video, would be something that is continuously gaining traction and making sales for you. The biggest mistake that I see creators make is when they get stuck in phase one forever. And here's what I mean by that. In this phase one, you're testing and trying everything. Some creators, they will get a video that works and goes viral, but then the rest of their content that they continue to make is still all over the place and still random and still trying new things, instead of narrowing in their focus, figuring out what worked about that sticky video and replicating it over and over and over again to continue your success rate and growth. That was me a little bit at the beginning. And I realized after I had my first viral video, I was like, okay, this is awesome. And then I realized that I was continuing to keep my same strategies that I had been doing. And then I was like, oh, wait, now that I have hit this milestone, my strategy should completely change. And now I should be trying to enter phase two.
If you're a content creator, we've created our Brands Meet Creators Academy to be your go-to resource for live coaching calls, brand collaborations, a 24/7 creator community, and courses to help you elevate your content and stay ahead of the trends. You can get started with our academy for free by clicking the link below. If you're a content creator, we've created our Brands Meet Creators Academy to be your go-to resource for live coaching calls, brand collaborations, a 24/7 creator community, and courses to help you elevate your content and stay ahead of the trends. You can get started with our academy for free by clicking the link below,
which is replicating and maximizing. So now that we've discovered what works because we got a sticky piece of content, we now want to replicate those results and surpass them. We want to maximize those results. So in this phase, when you get a video that is working for you, you want to analyze what worked. You have to diagnose it. You can't just be like, oh, that was a great viral video. Awesome. All right, let me just keep making videos like I always do. No, no, no. We're going to go back and look at that video. And then we're going to say, what worked about this? Is it the overall vibe of the video? Is it the hook? Is it because there was another person in the video? Is it the controversy? What about this video got sales and views? You have to ask yourself that, okay? Once you figure that out, you're going to take that piece of the video that you think is the reason for the success of the video, and you're going to do it again and again and again and again and again. Because what we're going to do is, while we're replicating those positive results, we're going to tweak anything that we think maybe didn't work. So if there's any way that you could have improved on that previous piece of content, this is where you're going to make your tweaks and start implementing things that you think would have made it even more effective. We're going to start utilizing comment response videos as well, because if we have traction in a video, we want to keep the traction going. So we want to keep getting people back to that video somehow, and then even keep them in our comments, send them off to another video that gives us another chance to make the sale. Plus, if we're sending a lot of people to this video, or if the algorithm is sending a lot of people to that video, getting people to go to a second video for that same product, you have such a higher percentage of locking in the sale when people go to the comments and watch another video for that product. So make comment responses on videos that you have traction on. Then we're going to test CTAs. Unless you think it was your CTA that made your video go viral, which is probably 0.001% of any videos have gone viral for the CTA, okay? Because most people don't even make it to the call to action at the end. Most likely it's your hook that worked, or something you did in the body, or foreshadowing, something like that at the beginning of the video is typically what sends a video to go viral. So we're going to test different CTAs. We're going to see, okay, is that the CTA on the first viral video the magic? Is that the one that is getting people to check out? Or is there a way that I could lock in even more sales? We're going to test some different ones. We're trying to replicate what we have just done within the same time span, because we know based off of the algorithm what TikTok wants from us now, because that video has gained traction. Phase two ends when you have replicated or surpassed the previous results. So you might hang out in phase two for a long time. That's okay. You still are getting the gist of what works, what doesn't work. You are using data from something that the algorithm favored to create and perfect a formula that is going to continue to reproduce results for you. Think like a scientist. Now, how important is the product? Super important. It's super important. It definitely needs to be a product that solves a problem, and if you can get a product that sells itself. For example, I always talk about the neck massager because I'm like always consistently making tons of sales on that thing. And it's because it sells itself. When people see someone wearing the neck massager, some of the top viral videos that sell the most of that thing are just like some guy wearing it. And it's like a close up and he's like, oh, feels so good. That thing sells itself. If you can find a product that sells itself just by looking at it, that's a winner of a product. And then if it is trending and going viral, better, more power to you. So phase 2 ends when you have replicated your results or surpassed your previous results. Okay. And that moves us into phase 3. Phase 3, the focus is going to be to find your voice and style and then create with your perfected strategies. Because by the time we've gotten to phase 3, we have now learned to create performing content consistently. And if not consistently, we've done it more than once. We've learned to replicate results that are getting us sales. So at that point, we have now figured out a viral formula that works for us. We found what kind of style of video works for us. And I want you to lean into that in phase 3. At this point, you're also going to optimize your processes for efficiency because you know what kind of video is working. You know what is effective. So now we can start batch recording because we're like, okay, I know what framework works for me. I know what style of hook works for me. This is what I'm going to put on repeat for the next amount of time until this stops working. So because you know what you're going to do, you know your frameworks, you know your viral formula, you're then going to increase your output because we're going to optimize our processes. We can batch record, we can be more efficient. We now are going to find it easier to edit because our videos are looking more and more similar. They're not all over the place different. They pretty much are the same formula every single time. Then in this phase, we're definitely going to leverage brand deal opportunities. To get to phase 3, you at least have to have 2 videos that are trending upward and making sales for you. Once we're there, we need to maximize brand deal opportunities. Okay. So whether that is just accepting more collaborations within TikTok, or whether that's checking your emails and doing some paid collaborations, whether that's getting retainer deals here within our community. Once you have this kind of GMV here, that's the time to really start getting some higher paying retainer brand deals. And then we are just going to sit here in phase 3 and keep doing what works. I see so many creators, they've had 1 or 2 viral videos and they keep experimenting and doing random stuff that they have never even seen work before. And I sit here watching them and I'm like, I don't understand. Don't you want another viral video? So do what works. The algorithm tells us what works, and all we want to do is continue replicating that until it doesn't work anymore. So if phase 3 ever becomes ineffective for you, you keep doing this viral formula that you have perfected and created based off of your previous data, and it stops working, like the hook is ineffective, the framework's ineffective, you're just not getting sales anymore, then we're going back to phase 1, okay? And we're going to try again, starting from square one, going back into the experimental phase. But now we have some more knowledge under our belt. So as we experiment, we're still going to like apply the things that we know, like the type of energy that we know the algorithm likes, like cutting out the pauses, using a certain type of hook that works. We're still going to keep that knowledge, but we're going to try to throw some more spaghetti at the wall and switch things up a little bit until we can again get another video that is producing for us, which moves us into phase 2 to take what we learned from that video and replicate it and maximize it again until we can move into phase 3, where we are just reproducing that content that we know works until it doesn't. So I hope that that gives you guys a little bit of some targets throughout your journey and some milestones to hit. I want you to think, what phase am I in right now? And if you're in phase 1, that's totally fine. Like that's totally okay. We're still throwing stuff at the wall until something sticks. A lot of us will be in phase 2, where we may have had 1 viral video or 1 video that just made a ton of sales for us, but we're struggling to replicate. That might be because we are not zeroed in enough on what was effective about that last viral video. And we might need to just replicate that viral video over and over again until we can get another growing and selling video, another sticky video under our feet. And then that will push us into phase 3 again. Hopefully that was a little bit helpful to give you guys some milestones to reach for and to kind of like put yourself in a phase, but give yourself grace because these phases, there's no timeline for how long they're going to take. They definitely can all take different amounts of time. Some people will like jump from phase 1 straight into phase 3 because they get like several viral videos or something. So the journey looks different for all of us, but this is a good way to kind of track where in the journey you're at. But I also want you to notice that like you definitely can get to phase 3 and end up right back at phase 1. So it's not like a beginner, intermediate, advanced. It's like this is just the arc of the journey. Like I have gone back to phase 1 several times in my journey because I get the video, I replicate it, it's working. So I move on to phase 3 and then I keep doing it over and over and over again. And then it stops working at some point. And then I'm like, okay, back to the drawing board. Let's get a new viral video, you know? So that's kind of this like circle of content creation that we go in as creators. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Other than that, guys, keep going. Bye.